Well, good afternoon, Brian, and thank you very much for coming on to this business spotlight interview with Sarah and Brian. Please, I guess, tell me in your own words about you as a business leader and your business, and how long you've been in business for.
Well, I started in 1973, which means that in July this year, I'll have done 50 years in the profession.
Ooh, okay.
Which, is not bad.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day and he said, "Oh, I'm retiring at the end of 2022. And I just said to him, "Jerry, how old are you?" And he's like 64. And I thought, "You're too young to retire." I mean, that's, I've got to carry on. I can't afford to retire. Too many things going on.
Too many things going on. Well, let me ask you on that one, Brian, what drives you then? What drives you to get up out of bed and come to work? What drives you to keep going and not to retire, at age?
Quite simple. Charles, I love my job.
Okay.
I love my job. I've been in the industry 50 years or very nearly 50 years. I still get a kick out of doing what I do. And I do a whole raft of different things. In a younger life, I was a shed shifter, in other words, an industrial agent. So I sold, let, acquired sheds. I love sheds. In the past, when I've gone on holiday, I've stopped the car, raced out, got a camera, and start photographing sheds. And my wife's like, "Oh no, not again." We were in Denmark some years ago, and we passed a livestock centre. And I thought, wow, that livestock centre is really, really interesting compared to the one in Truro. So I stopped the car, photographed it, and she's going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "It's a livestock centre, isn't it exciting?" And she's like, "No." And wherever I go, I have this hankering to drive around industrial estates just to see what the sheds are like.
Oh, wow.
And I've progressed from there. I've done property management, which we do here as a company. Which is looking after portfolios of properties for clients.
Mhm.
I've done typical agency, I've done professional work, I've done development work. And I like to describe myself as a jokeman. So jack of all trades and master of none.
Yeah.
I'm your archetypal general practice surveyor.
Great. I just love your story. And I was gonna ask you, maybe you've been in the business for so long now. And I guess you will have seen how, I guess, the landscape has changed. I guess, not just only your sector, but for all sectors, I guess. But I'll say predominantly in the real estate agent sector. And and obviously not only change is evolving. Now, one of the things that impacted a lot of businesses, and especially in Cornwall as well, positively and negatively, was COVID-19. And so tell me, yeah. So I mean, what was the impact on your company and you as a business leader as well, and what actions you take to overcome that?
Well, as a company, we actually furloughed all of our staff, other than the 4 partners and our head of accounts. And it was quite interesting because the partners were pushed into parts of the business that we hadn't been in before.
Yes.
For instance, if you're the head of property management, you don't necessarily do all the nuts and bolts and everything else. And we got really involved in that, and we thought, hang on a minute, why are we doing some of these things that we ask our staff to do when we can cut through the processes and reduce it and become more efficient, which we believe we did. But it wasn't that long after we were in lockdown that we thought, hang on a minute, we need some more people here. We're still extremely busy, properties still need managing, inspections still need to be made. Clients still want their rent. Rent reviews don't stop. Other professionals are working. So we geared up all of our staff to enable them to work from home.
Yeah.
And obviously, as a consequence of that, like many other companies, we've now come out of that, and we still allow our staff to work from home. And we've said to them, look, guys, we would love to see you in the office, but we're not going to prescribe to you how many days a week or how long a day is. We want you to do the work. We want to see you. We want you to feel part of the team. But the world has moved on. So other than me, everybody works from home some part of the week.
Yes.
So that's partners work from home, all staff work from home. Apart from me, I hate working from home.
Okay.
I love coming in the office. I wear a suit and tie every day.
Yes.
Even in between Christmas and New Year, when as an office we were shut, I came in with my dog and I donned my suit every day, tie, come into the office, get on with some business.
I actually love that. I love that. And what I was going to say to you on that is, well, I mean, as a business leader, yourself, what would you say has been some of your, I guess, some of your main challenges that you may have encountered or you're dealing with, and how you overcome those challenges as well?
I think one of the challenges is to keep people engaged in the business.
Ooh, okay.
Particularly when they're working remotely, we don't check up on them. So I suppose one of the things we've really learned as a partnership is trust your staff. You know, we know they're there, we know they're working, we know that because we see the outcomes. So we don't need to be on their back every 5 minutes going, hey, where are you, Charles? You know, why haven't you answered your phone within 30 seconds of me phoning? And it's about communication. And modern technology has helped us, obviously. I mean, I go back to the days when, you know, a letter would come in by mail, and then you'd sit down and think about it for a day or two, and then you dictate it, give it to your secretary. A couple of days later, it would come back. Then you put it in the post, and a week would go past. Now it's instantaneous. It's email, it's text messages, it's Zoom meetings.
Yes.
You know, communication is so much quicker that, and we've embraced it. But along with that comes other challenges in that we have so much email traffic that we're trying to get away from using email and using internal Teams communication between us. And obviously with mobile phones, we're accessible to our clients.
That's right.
Most 24 hours a day, which is helpful and disadvantage at the same time. You know, at 10 o'clock at night, and I get a phone call from a solicitor going, oh, I didn't expect you to answer. And you think, well, why did you phone me if you didn't want me to answer?
Oh, wow. Well, I can see that's a challenge in itself. Yeah, definitely. And
I mean, some people would say, just Brian, turn off your phone, but it's my business. You know, it's difficult to turn it off when it's you know, my company, my business, my reputation.
Yeah, that's right. And what I mean, with that being said, I mean, as a business leader, I mean, what have you learned about yourself? What are your learnings from yourself? You know, as a business leader yourself, there, what have you found out about you over these years being a business owner?
What have I found about me? Some people would call me pedantic. I like to try and get things right. And as I said to a client, when did I say it to him? I think it was only today. I said, look, I'll come and see you and I'll tell you what I think. And if you like what I think, then we'll move on from there. If you don't like what I think, I'll have had a nice time going to your property and meeting you, and then we'll just walk away. And it's that case of, I won't do something for nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared to give up my time and energy and effort just to try and help people.
That's great. You know, and that's
what we are as a business. We're there to help people.
Yeah.
And to find solutions to problems.
Yes. You know, and just hearing I can hear the passion in your voice about, you know, again, you know, being solving solutions and just really helping people. What's what's inspired you? What's been influencing you behind, that help? What's been inspiring you and sparking you off for this?
I think it's just people, to be
Okay.
honest. I mean, my business is still a people business.
Yes.
You can have all the communication things you like. There's nothing better than face to face or Zoom to Zoom. But it's just getting to know people and helping them, and then getting that feeling of accomplishment when a deal's come to fruition or they've taken your advice.
Yes.
I mean, I had a job recently. I went out to look at the building, and I just said to my client, I said, look, we're talking about so little amount of money that your tenant is paying per annum. I said, you're better off trying to deal with this yourself.
Mm.
And I said to her, I'm not going to charge you for my time because it's ridiculous. She then came back to me because the tenant had employed another agent. And we managed to sort it out in the end. But the level of rent being paid means that I actually couldn't charge my client a fee.
Okay.
Because the increase in rent was so low, it would have taken her 10 years to pay off my fee. Because we deal with very small buildings, we deal with very big buildings.
Okay.
So we deal across the board. We do professional work, so there's rent reviews, lease renewals, valuations. We do property management, which, as I say, is looking after people's assets. We charge tenants their rent, we collect that rent. We look after the buildings, we charge them a service charge if necessary.
Yeah.
We do business transfer, so we sell ongoing businesses, campsites, guest houses, pubs, cafes. And then we get rid of empty properties as well. We sell them, we let them, we acquire them.
Okay.
So and more recently, we've taken on a building surveyor. Now that's a real big plus for us.
Okay.
We've not had a building surveyor before. And so successful has he been, we said to him just at Christmas time, Tom, we want you now to recruit an assistant. He's only been with us 6 months, but the business is going so well. It's like, come on, we need to grow this business. Tom, go out and find yourself an assistant, which is what he's going to be working on in the next month or so.
Wow. Great. I'm loving that. And I mean, for you, Brian, I guess you've been in business for like 50 years. If you had to start all over again, okay, on day one, what would you do differently?
I'm not sure I'd do anything differently. I mean, I started in a very small practice in my hometown.
Okay.
And I started training by postal calls.
Okay.
And in the days it was post, it wasn't, Zooms, there was no one to, there was no internet or anything. So, and then a week a year, I'd go up to Reading and sit exams. And I passed part 1, but I failed part 2 twice. But in those 4 years, I made some really good friends and learned a lot. Then I went to Polytechnic, because in those days it was Polytechnic, not university. I got a degree. I came out and started work, and my career has evolved since then. And I've worked in London, I've worked in Devon, I've worked in the Midlands, and now I'm in Cornwall.
Now you're in Cornwall.
So I've had a fair geographical spread.
Yes.
And lots of different companies. I've worked for small companies and I've worked for big companies. And now I'm in a medium-sized company.
Wow. Okay. And what advice would you give to a 18-year-old who wants to start their own business? What would be a piece of advice would you give them?
Well, that's a really tough question. What would I give them? I think go and talk to people and listen to people who've been through the business and try and take on board some advice. Pitfalls maybe, but how to do things, and just listen to people.
Yeah, I like that. And you said just listen, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, we may be expanding or not, I don't know at the moment. I haven't persuaded my partners yet, but
Yeah.
I had an informal discussion with a young lady a few months ago. She's off in another part of the world at the moment on voluntary service. And she said, "Oh, I'm thinking of being a chartered surveyor. You know, what can you help?" And I said, "Well, yeah, you know, come and have a cup of coffee. Let's discuss it. And why do you want to be a surveyor?" And she comes from a non-surveying background. There's no one in her family surveyors. But over the years, I've helped 15 or so people get qualified.
Yeah.
Which is being their counselor, their mentor. Sorry, phone ringing.
That's okay.
And it's just trying to impart that knowledge and also that passion in other people.
Oh,
and
yes.
You know, I mean, at the moment we've got a graduate. He's a little bit older than 18. He's a little bit older than 21, but he's still young. And I was talking to him this morning, and hopefully he's going to sit what's known as his assessment of professional competence in the spring. So if he gets through, he'll become qualified. He'll probably want more money. We'll give him more responsibility.
Of course.
And then I want to move on to the next person that I can help get qualified.
That's, I love that. And I would say, Brian, I would say thank you very much. I mean, this concludes the interview. And